Blog Talk Radio.
Hello and welcome to the Mortuary of Shadows. The Mortuary of Shadows is brought to you by A Poetic Slice of Life, which is a group on allpoetry.com, the largest poetry website in the world. We want to thank Kevin and his crew for giving us a place to hang our hats. I am Stephen76, and with me as always, my lovely wife, Kaye. Hello, Kaye.
Hello.
And tonight we're going to be featuring poetry inspired by the movie Blade Runner, starring Harrison Ford and Rutger Hauer, and also Daryl Hannah is also in that movie.
And Rutger Hauer.
I said Rutger Hauer.
Oh, okay.
And Edward James Olmos. And it was based on a book by Philip K. Dick called Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? We featured quotes from the movie and from the book. And if Kay would be so kind to read the quotes for me.
Oh, okay. The quotes from the movie are, "Wake up, time to die. I want more life." And then, of course, the iconic speech that Rutger Hauer improvised and made very powerful that is remembered through the decades. "I've seen things you people wouldn't believe. Attack ships on the fire off the shoulder of Orion. Watch sea beams glitter in the dark near the Tannhauser Gate. All those moments will be lost in time, like tears in the rain." And then the quotes from the book by Philip K. Dick is, "You'll be required to do wrong no matter where you go. It's the basic condition of life to violate our own identity." And I don't know how to say the Latin.
Mors certa vita incerta.
Okay. Which means death is certain, life is uncertain.
I'm not sure if that's the actual pronunciation, but I'm pretty sure it's close.
Close.
Unfortunately, Sister isn't here to do that for us.
Yeah. You did good.
Yeah.
That's all it counts.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So tell us what you want to do.
I think we start reading some poems.
Okay.
We've got plenty.
Okay. Well then, I guess I am going to start with mine. For mine, I used a bunch of different quotes because when I was writing this, I got a little excited and I was realizing I could fit a lot of the different quotes in. And some of the quotes I mentioned a few different times, glitter in the rain. But I also wrote to the quote, "Death is certain, life is uncertain. And it's the basic condition of life to violate our own identity. And I want more life." And I'm sure there's some that I am forgetting, but we'll see. Okay. Now bear with me because this is a little long, but I knew it would be okay. And I call it "Glitter and Tears Through the Rain." And this was something from an old write of mine that I added to because I realized this would fit. I had a bunch of different stuff on paper that I added that finally found a home. Here we go. Through the silent sounds of anguish, the miles driven through time, tires a weary traveler. Who is a judge in this life? In this beautiful world, man has soiled it, where impious against the sin within. Sunday best disguise, equate to tomorrow's slaughter, before purifying on the confessional in the sky. Wash, rinse, repeat. The daily rituals of habituals man creates, where it's the basic condition of life to violate our own identity. We all walk on a path, whether it was picked for us in manufactured fate or chosen through the darkness of the reaper, whispering sweet nothings that are a stab and a slice to the afflicted soul. Some understand their paths, generalizations of life, utterances of ignorance, when live in a different identity that is chosen in renewal. Who is really their true self? And through the tears and the rain, generalizations upon man destroys the beauty. The realist understands that everyone touches this, that through slow clarity, knowing those moments will be lost in time. The fight to one's own desires drives one, while letting them soar if they need to, while trying to understand what is demanded of us. The inner fight remains between the body, its longings of how to live, the soul and all its claims upon, mind yearning to be free while caged. As the human condition fails at times, driving one forward, embrace the fight within, for it will lead us to our answers in life. I want more life, is what I know. Death is certain, but life is uncertain. Through the tears and the rain of crystallized white life weeping, I get it. One will always think one way, the other seeing different. Only the wise know that silence is humbling, while others see it as weak. Some fights in life are not meant to be led by one. What you see as progression, another will see as loss. Acceptance is knowing that everyone is flawed. While others are forgetful of this, the soul is tired of mankind's bite. What one sees as a defeatist is really a realistic missionary who is tired of talking to the deaf. Knowing who one is, what is wanted from life. What you don't see is that man has failed, broken many times. Through the glitter in the dark, the color of life that one possesses wears not well on man. Then in the heart that is already saddened. One has run out of faith with what is seen. The heart is only weeping. The hues that reflect off one purges at the feet in smoky lead. The sad love in his eyes weep only a sadness, not beauty. Man has made a color-blinded world with the hues that bind. The colors of change is what is sought, releasing the heart to be free, to see that man is not what it seems, to stop breaking a heart further. Maybe this is the secret to a relationship, seeing the truth of mankind while moving forward productively in silence, as through the tears and the rain, those moments are lost. End poem.
Yes, wow.
I got a little excited when I was writing that.
Yeah.
Just like me, a lot of people were inspired and moved by the Tears in the Rain speech from Rutger Hauer.
It's a very inspiring speech.
It is.
It's one of the few times where they'll actually tear up when the bad guy dies because of his speech. And we will be playing that speech as said by him later on in the show. But I really liked your confessional in the sky, wash, rinse, repeat, and basic condition of life to violate our own identity because, we do that kind of stuff every day. I go to work and I put on a smile every day, even though most of the time I'd much rather be here. That's just a small example, but it just shows that, people do that kind of thing all the time. And the moments that'll be lost in time, like tears in rain, that's just, of course, is always powerful. We all want more life. But, sooner or later you have to move on to the next. And yes, the moments I had mentioned somewhere along the line to somebody in one of the poems we'll be reading later that, the memories of a certain person will be lost. We will have the memories of that person, but not his or her actual memories. So those moments will be lost, like tears in rain. And this is very powerful. Really liked it, hon.
Yeah. What you say, it reminds me of conversations that I've had with you, but also with my friend earlier. Because there are some relationships in my life that I'm not sure if they're ever going to be back to the way it was. And, with that, I was thinking about, like my sister. It's been March, will actually be 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking about that with my friend earlier today. And, there's many different ways a person can violate their own identity because when it comes to my family, they used to be, when I think back, they used to be a certain way. They used to be recognizable. But when I look at them now and what certain people have become, it's hard to see how that came into play, actually. And that's what creates the sadness because, you're thinking of the past and you see things one way, then you see the now and realize that those moments that do make you smile, they technically are lost forever. Because, it's very true. The one quote a lot of people also wrote to is death is certain, but life is uncertain. And, that's very true because there are certain people that, you're never going to see again because they were taken. But then there's other people that you're not sure if you're ever really going to see them again because of the life choices they've decided to make, and you have to stay away.
Mm-hmm.
So that in itself is saddening to think that those moments are gone like tears in the rain. So, yeah, that's why I got a little excited because I was thinking a lot about my past. I was thinking about family, and it just flowed. And then hearing the speech again today, I could understand and see why people get very emotional because it was improvised. But damn, Rutger Hauer he took that, he owned it, he made it his, very iconic because a lot of people to this day, they remember it. So it's definitely going to be remembered, I think, for a long, long time.
Yes.
He left his own legacy with what he brought to the film.
Yeah. Real quick, before you drop the next poem, I want to say hi to those that are out on the board, I believe, listening. I know Dan or Bud Ho
is
his username. He's out there. Hello, Dan. And I think SLR 8313 is also out there listening. So hello, you guys. And are we ready to?
Yeah, and I'm going to have you read.
You're going to have me read?
Yes, and Stan's right here. On the board. He was the gold winner in my contest.
Yeah.
Because this was pretty powerful and moving as well.
Yes, I read this one earlier today.
Yes.
And it is called All Those Moments. So once again, on that quote from Rutger Hauer.
Exactly.
And it goes like this. And now you strut victorious, glaring down at me in triumph, unwarranted, believing that my time running out is the end of me. But I feel the victor in such a moment as this. I am the one who conquered galaxies, light years away, battled alien species no mere mortal could vanquish, saw the brilliance of dozens of star systems, extracted exotic minerals and material from 100 planets, destroyed more civilizations than you will ever know in your years. Yes, you have no compassion for me, and yes, I am running out of time. But it is my time, and what of yours? Can you say that you would have survived feats such as mine? Would you have lived to experience multi-lifetimes, to feel and to acknowledge my life in all the various colors and visions of pain, horror, and of the visceral realities placed on a superhuman race such as mine? Your type created us to do the bidding that humans could not do. Then you spat on us for doing what we were made to do. Go ahead then, and stare down and take your feeble victory. What you don't realize is that my maker created a perfect being, with eternal longevity being the only impossibility. Take notice then, and look very closely. My kind will not be around this way again. End poem. Yeah, very cool. In the movie, the replicants were made to do things that we couldn't and withstand conditions that humans wouldn't survive. And apparently, as I said in my comment to him earlier, that becoming self-aware was their crime. And I thought that this was an awesome write from Roy Batty's point of view, Roy Batty being the character that Rutger Hauer played. Yeah. But reading it again, I could even see a little deeper meaning.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking of your dad.
My dad?
Yeah, actually, Vietnam veterans. When they say we did the bidding, and then you spat on us for doing what we went to do. That made me think of Vietnam vets and how much that really pisses me off, the way they were treated when they came back. But yes, Dan, this is very powerful, and thank you for sharing it. What do you think, hon?
Well, yeah, this is why, Dan, you got the gold, because this was very moving, very powerful, because it speaks from the movie itself, but it also has elements that could speak to society as well, because your right is very passionate in expressing what you wanted to, because you touch on what has been seen, the depth of what was seen, wondering if others could handle the gravity of what was seen and stay seen. I see it also as a rite of humility as well. When you talk about compassion, compassion is a very hard thing for anybody to feel at times. We will all have those moments where we struggle with what we feel. And then there are going to be those situations where people, like you said when you talked about my dad, where those people will look down on you for doing something that what one person feels is logical, the other will not feel is logical. There's always going to be those situations in life as to how this person sees it and this person sees it. And sometimes there's not going to be that compromise. It's just going to be locked horns where there's no compromise. And I know in the movie, as you said as well, that what you had said about Rutger Hauer, it's just, this is a great right, Dan. It really touches on so many great aspects in the movie, but it could also speak to society, as I said, because the quote you used was, the speech that Rutger Hauer gave. And, you took it, you rocked it. You really did.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yes, I agree. And you know what? I've always been a huge Harrison Ford fan. So that was the main reason that I wanted to watch this movie when it first came out. But Rutger Hauer made the movie. His portrayal of Roy Batty was just awesome.
Yeah, there's definitely certain roles in movies that nobody else could do it any better than that person.
Mm-hmm.
Rutger Hauer, he was made to play that role. Nobody else could do that. He owned that character. And it's funny because he's the bad guy,
Mm-hmm.
but his role, a lot of people identify with too.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And it looks like Dan agrees with us.
Oh. That's cool. It's a hell of a right, Dan. It truly is. I could see how that quote is very inspiring, because it truly is. So thank you, Dan.
Yes, thank you very much.
You rocked the contest. Well-deserved gold. And I have to put yours down.
All right. And guess what I wrote too?
Yeah.
Excuse me. This is going to be my poem. The Things I Have Seen Will Be Lost Forever, it's called. And I mean, of course, I titled it to the quote, and I do use the quote in it, so I did write to the quote, but I did write also from Roy Batty's point of view. Artificial life form am I, not flesh and blood, but I bleed. They made me that way. The Terrell Corporation. Nothing but slave labor is what I am. But I feel, and I will die. It is in my programming. As dangerous as it is, I return to Earth to reverse this. I am self-aware. Do I not deserve to live? If I fail, all of the things I have seen will be lost forever, like tears in rain. And poem.
Well, yeah, I definitely know that what quote you chose as well. It's a very inspiring speech. But yeah, when you talk about self-aware, we actually were talking about this earlier today too, about self-awareness and how being self-aware can get you in trouble through the movie, like you were explaining to me. But then you ask, do I not deserve to live? I know earlier I was talking to you, like I said, with toddler, I have so many questions with the whys. But I think that self-awareness is good, and one should not be punished for it.
Yeah, but they were never supposed to be.
I know.
They were supposed to do their jobs and then expire.
I know. And they did, yeah, because we were talking about the dynamics of Decker and then Roy Batty, and the conversation we had from it earlier. They were programmed to do their job, and they were programmed to only live for a certain amount of time, and then after that, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end, Roy Batty, he kind of had his own personality, his own character, and he said that if Roy Batty would have had more time, he would have taken Decker's life because that was his mission.
That's what he felt he needed to do. He had to because Decker was there to kill him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that if he wouldn't have expired in that moment, Harrison Ford's character was he was losing that fight bad.
But see, okay, here's the question. Who's to say why was it so important that he tried to kill him?
Who?
Not Batty. Why was it so important that he had to try
to kill Decker?
Yeah.
Because it was Decker's job to kill him.
Yeah. Because he was
a replicant.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, yeah. I can understand now. It's just, technically, with a lot of these races we've gone through tonight as well, they touch on aspects of society. So, yeah, that's one thing I have a hard time struggling with and understanding is why both sides wanted to try to hurt one another.
Mm-hmm. One was for a job and the other one for self-preservation.
Self-preservation is good in doses. Self-preservation is good as long as it's not meant to hurt somebody else, I always feel.
Yeah.
Because I like that phrase. I use it a lot, self-preservation. Mm. And usually when self-preservation comes into play, it's because I'm protecting certain emotions, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're right. It's pretty cool. It spoke to that famous quote, the speech, very well. Yeah.
You're going to have to watch the movie with me again.
I know.
It's been too long for you.
I know. It's funny because we were talking about Blade Runner 2049, and the stupid question I have for you is, if Decker is human and Sean Young's character was robotic, how could they have a child?
Yeah, I know, and I don't remember because I've only seen 2049 once.
I know, it's been a while.
And I've seen the original Blade Runner probably more than 100 times.
Oh, okay, yeah. On the board, Dan said he valued life more than his own, and he let Decker live to remember him, so his memory would live on with Decker.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how Void put it.
Yeah. Yeah, very cool. And I even remember, of course it was raining.
Yeah.
But I do believe that Decker was crying when Batty died.
Really?
I do believe it was.
Was it because of his final speech that he was giving?
No, I think that was a very touching speech, yes.
Listening to it this evening, I can understand that because it definitely made me feel certain things. It's very powerful.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Shall we continue on with the Tears and Rain marathon?
Yes. Let's do that.
Yes, Dan, I as well. I still, when I watch it, I kind of tear up when Roy Batty dies in the movie.
Yeah. But, watching the speech just itself, if you're watching the YouTube video of it,
It could make you tear up.
Yeah, it's very moving. It's very powerful. It really is. Listening to it this evening, I almost wanted to cry.
Yeah. Well, we're going to be listening to it again soon.
I know. Do you want me to read since you read twice in a row?
You're up.
Okay. Well, then here I go. All right. Let me get my lappy to work. So that way I can read better.
Yes.
It's not always easy to read on a phone. Okay. This was also from my contest, and he was a silver winner. And this is by The Visitor, and it's called Tears in the Rain. My eyes are very tired. They ache from want of rest. My body creaks and groans. It, too, has done its best. I've seen things beyond belief, traveled among the stars. My knowledge is vast and unique. I've survived 1,000 wars. I've touched and studied forms mere words could not describe. So much has passed my way. I hold it all inside. All of these moments in time, my joy, and yes, my pain, will be lost of me forever by tears in the rain. End poem. And in his ANs, he wrote, everything passes in time. And I thought that was very profound.
Mm.
So what do you think?
I thought this was an excellent right to the quote. And I also think what I said to him when I read it earlier was, I think this is a blanket poem. And what I meant by that is, whenever anyone passes, their memories are lost. This is where I said it. We still have memories of them, but not their personal memories. And I thought these were powerful words from a dying replicant's point of view. Once again, it's amazing how many people, like you said, identify more with Roy Batty's character.
I know. I found myself doing the same thing.
Yeah. What did you think of it?
Yeah, I thought this was a really great right, because when he put in his ands that everything passes in time, that is true. I love his closing stanza, though, when he says that all these moments in time, my joy and yes, my pain, will be lost of me forever, like tears in the rain. That in itself is very true, because what I see from that is what was yesterday is different from today. Because in this life, the moments that we create, they definitely are ours to build and hold on to within. And they all have their own special meaning to us. But they also leave when we depart from our body that was given to us in this life. So I definitely think it is a great right that does speak of mortality, because that's the thing. I know in my 20s, I took a lot for granted. And technically in my 40s, I still do as far as life itself, I think. But the fact that we're slowly getting older, every now and again it kind of kicks you on the ass a little. That tells you that, time is moving by fast, and you shouldn't waste it. Because the thing is, when I was in my 20s, I was saying, oh, I'm still young, I have all this time. But then I sit here at times and I think to myself how fast time has moved. And it really does, when you think about it in the grand scheme of things, that, when you have those moments in your life where you think, I'm not going to get through this moment, I'm not going to get through this day, or this day's going to last forever. And then you look back and you realize it was this long ago, or, you got through it, but then you look back and you realize, what did you do with your life? And, you try to make up for lost time, and you try to find ways to live in ways that you can that are comfortable enough for you. This is a very great right, because with the top 3 medalists, they definitely touched on the movie and Roy Batty's speech in such a profound way that it deserved to be highlighted. And, I just want to say, too, that when he talks about so much has passed my way and I hold it all inside, and that mere words could not describe. That in itself speaks to life too, because I know a lot of us have those moments where words itself cannot truly describe how we're feeling, or we don't want to convey it out loud to anybody. And as the thing is, I know I'm guilty of that, and I tell you that sometimes it's better to be stuck within me instead of letting it out, because then it's not in the air. So sometimes
I'm here for you to let it out.
I know, but see, the thing is, at times I don't want it to be stuck in the air, because I'd rather just, okay, some would say it's being a martyr, but at the same time, I think it would actually be more shitty to put it all out there, because then it's bringing the whole room down. So I'd rather be the one that's struggling and suffer instead of having everybody else have the same mindset. So there's many ways that time can pass and we waste it, and it's up to us to decide how we want to live the time that's given to us. Do you want to waste it, or do you want to do something with it?
All right.
Because, we definitely take a lot for granted in life.
Yeah, we do.
So, it's up to us to decide how we want to live it. Being broke is a joke, though, it's kind of hard.
True. But the last 3 days were kind of nice.
They were, actually.
Being stranded at home because the car was in the shop.
It was, yeah. I told you last night that I don't know what the hell's wrong. Going to bed at 7:30 at night.
Oh, that's unheard of for us. Usually we don't sleep at night at all.
Yeah, because I actually hate the daytime. So it's like it sucks that I'm awake during the daytime now. And I sleep at night. I love the night. So it's like, what the hell's going on here?
Should I sing?
Sing?
I love the nightlife. I got that boogie.
You don't do that. Good effort, though. I wouldn't even be able to touch those notes. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of disco I like. I like Donna Summer's one song, but I'll never be able to touch those notes.
Yeah, I wouldn't even try the high note. I'll never make it.
No, hell no.
Should we save the Howard speech until Deanne's with us so if somebody else is on to comment about it after we play it?
If you want to.
Yeah. That sounds good.
Okay. Oh. I'm picking it up.
All right. What did he just dial?
Dan!
Hello, Dan.
Hey.
Hello!
Hello.
Hello!
How are you two?
You should have saved your poem. Good. How are you?
Good, good. I guess I need to quiet down my computer then.
Oh, okay.
There's a delay, so okay.
Oh, yeah.
So you guys are doing a really good job tonight.
Well, thanks.
Oh, thanks, Dan.
Appreciate you calling in.
Yeah. And since you're here on the phone, I could tell you what an awesome write you wrote.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, I appreciate it. I think like most people, that movie really gets down deep, you know, and
it does,
especially at the very end. Even though that was like 1982, I think when it came out, I can still remember that. That was my senior year in high school. You know, I bawled like a baby. But anyway.
I didn't get to watch it until it came on HBO.
Oh.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in '82 I was 12.
Yeah.
And my dad said I was too young to see that movie.
Oh, wow. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Maybe they'll do one of those anniversary showings and show it. I'll catch it on the big screen sometime.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool to see. I would go see it again for about the 110th time.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. So are you two reading all the poems from the contest?
Oh yeah, we're gonna hit all of them, I believe.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. If you felt like you might want to help us read, that'd be cool too. If you'd like. If not, that's fine too.
I would love to read one. Let me go find them. Oh, here they are. Well, I'm on the page. What do you know? Oh, so what are you're reading every one of them, right?
Yeah, we just dropped another
Okay.
one titled "Tears and Rain" by Logan Solo.
Yeah, he was the bronze in the contest.
Okay. Okay. Well, would you like me to do that one then?
Please.
Or
Yeah.
okay, yeah, I would love to. Okay, so this one's called Tears in the Rain. I have seen things you wouldn't believe, not attack ships in flames, sea beams, or the Tannhauser Gate, so am I going insane. I am not a victim or martyr, defeated nor wishing the end, and maybe I'm not really broken. So tell me then, why must I mend? Why should we desire forever, if this word we can't understand? And yes, we still feign comprehension. Was this always just part of the plan? Our memories are pages in time. Some chapters are better than others. In a world where man is no friend, just because he says you're his brother. The how and the when we constantly seek, and in this we give our best try. But always too late, we do get to the gate. And remember, we never asked why. Why we are here. Is it love or fear that keeps us now shackled to fate? Have you ever made sense of this mystery? Can we ever, before it's too late? Am I living or truly alive? There never been one and the same. How sad when these moments are lost in time, like tears in the rain. And end the poem.
Excellent read.
That is thank you. It's just a fantastic write. You know, as you're reading the words out loud, and you're just imagining Roy and the seconds ticking away, knowing that he's got one less beat of whatever kind of heart he has, and it's getting so near, you know. And I think what I wrote on the page there on the text box, I just always thought that Roy had the chance to kill Decker, but he didn't because he valued life so much that he allowed Decker to live because of that, you know. And when he, and it was like he really could have, but he didn't. And that's what always surprised me. But then, yeah, because it was just an amazing point in his life that, you know, as he's dying, I guess. I don't know. It just really gets deep down, and
yeah.
Wow. What a profound thing. Anyways, all right, I'll shut up now.
Well, I definitely agree with you that this is a powerful write.
Right, well,
I thought an excellent. I'm sorry.
What's that?
Well, just I like how he asks so many questions in this poem, and
right.
a lot of the answers to these questions we'll never know until we are at the gate,
right.
as he says. But yeah, this is powerful, and once again another great tribute to Rutger Hauer and his character. Yeah. What'd you think, hon?
Yeah, you know, this is a pretty cool write. You know, as you said, with the questions being asked. And I like how he mentioned our memories are pages in time, and some chapters are better than others. Because, you know, that's true. As with any book, as with life itself, there's going to be the highs, there's going to be the lows, because things can't always be at their best. You know, there's going to be those down times. All the different questions asked, you know, it is an excellent write. But the one that stood out for me is when he said, I am not a victim or martyr, defeated nor wish in the end. Maybe I'm not really broken, so tell me then, why must I mend? Why should we desire forever if this word we can't understand? You know, as with a lot of these rights, it speaks to the movie, but it also, my problem is when I read something, I try to find the hidden meaning too. I see that it also has a feel of life itself. You know, it's very easy to play the victim, but it's even harder to move on and let go. But, you know, if you can, there is that balance where you can let go and live and not play the victim and not try to be the martyr, but just try to live and move forward in the best way that you can. Because the one thing I've definitely learned in my life, and I had one person, you know, 10 years ago teach me this valuable lesson. And despite how awful she was, I some days say I thank her for the lesson that she gave me, because it taught me to learn to not live in the past and to move on. Because if you stay stuck, you'll never be able to move forward. And if anything, you'll be destined to struggle. So yeah, this is a great write, because in all honesty, being the victim or martyr in life, it's not a good role to play. You're holding yourself back. So you should give yourself the gift of freedom and not play those roles and just let it go and just move forward. Because then you're giving yourself the greatest gift of all.
Yeah. Now we're touching on tomorrow's show.
We are?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. But that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine, because it applies here, too.
Yeah.
You're giving a preview.
Yeah.
It's a 30-second preview tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Because tomorrow there will be a couple of rites that feature good old Captain Ahab and his inability to let go.
Awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, that just focuses back to what I said. If it wasn't for, she's not really my sister, but I call her my sister, sometimes my cousin. But she definitely taught me lessons that I will always remember and value. And I bring them to my life now.
Yeah.
Because sometimes being schooled by a very messed up person, it educates you further.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was the hardest gift I was given. It was the hardest thing I had to do. But she definitely taught me to learn to let go and to just forgive. Because at the end of the day, you're not going to help yourself further. So, all right. As I would say, end comment.
All right.
Okay, stop prattling.
You get another hug for that one.
Yeah.
Here, let me go write it down first.
Okay. All right. This next one, I am going to drop has a SoundCloud, so I'm going to run over to the studio and get that playing.
Yes, from my brother Rick.
Yes. This is also a pretty profound one, too. Here we go.
Rick is always very profound.
I know.
A Life by Rick Howe. Made and in that creation of faded algorithms, severed certainties, flaws almost human, and sneers learned ugly, a bleeding of self-awareness. To survive became to mean that which would deprive others of the same fragile dream. The nature of humanity, blood through the ages, DNA wrapped in different strands throughout, becoming ever stronger, like the rope that holds a sail steadfast in a storm. I was made, born, in the image of you, and you your father. So I too am your father, as you are mine, and I your son, as you are mine. It is good to live, but sweeter when free. And this is patricide, infanticide, suicide. A chasm divides us. I did not want to kill, just live. But the wine is spilled and can't be gathered again, and no water brought to bring about the miracle of its return. And I have saline on my lips. Who knew such impurities could be so sweet? And I am corrupted. As they who hunt us, bring us down from our silent perches, steal from us our fledgling wings. So I must act first on seeing them, do this wrong wherever I go, and keep still the discordant song that like this speech spits out and haphazardly flows, as the life from you, onto my hands, into my soul, a killer, alive, rogue.
In poem. Wow.
Yeah. His reading
Wow.
is also very passionate.
He always reads so passionately when he sends us a SoundCloud.
Yeah.
Whew, it just blows me away.
I know.
Amazing.
Yeah, what did you think of it, Dan?
It just takes your breath away. I mean, it's like you're combining like almost like a Shakespearean voice with. It's just incredible.
Yeah,
when you hear him,
Yeah.
it really does. Seriously, really does. There's nothing I can really say other than just be just plain old flabbergasted by listening to that. It's just incredible. Wow.
Yeah, I agree. And luckily I read this earlier and commented, so I could read what I wrote. But I thought, yeah, it's a very powerful right, once again, from a replicant's point of view. And I told him that he gave Roy a soul and regret, but still he must do what he came to do in order to live. And the part I like the best And as he read it, I was like, oh my God, the way he read it. A chasm divides us. I did not want to kill, just lived. But the wine is spilled and can't be gathered again. And no water brought to bring about the miracle of its return. So, once Roy killed, there was no turning back. And that's what I get from that. This is just, Rick told me when we were going to do Blade Runner that this is like his favorite movie.
Yeah.
So he had to write to it. And I'm so glad that he gave us a SoundCloud, too, so we could hear him read it.
Yeah.
What did you think, man? Go ahead, Dan.
No, I'm just listening.
Okay.
I'm just rereading the poem.
Okay. Go ahead, hon.
Well, I always like when Rick gives SoundCloud because he's always, as a writer, he's always down on himself to begin with. And he doesn't realize how passionate his writing is and how even more passionate his reading is. Because, this he says it's disconnected, but in its way, it makes perfect sense because, as you said, that he gave Batty a soul that feels regret. Regret, even though Batty was not human, the fact that he felt these emotions, that shows that despite being cold and mechanic, certain things can get through. And technically for machinery, that's not supposed to be the case, actually.
Right.
But this movie kind of, with Batty's character, it kind of did make him almost human-like.
Yeah, well, yeah, he was very human. Yeah. He may have been more human than Decker himself.
Yeah, and maybe that's why people identify with him so well because, technically a bad guy like that shows that he can be redeemed and that he can have those emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And, as I was saying in the comment, both man and machine, they definitely are flawed. And that's something that not a lot of people can understand because, the quote that he wrote to, in order to live, people do fail their identity at times.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody does in some way, somehow.
Yeah.
And the fact that, Batty was able to feel regret and feel remorse for his actions, I think that shows the strength of a character. If you can show that, it means that you did what you had to, but you didn't like it either.
Yeah.
So it makes it an even more profound, deeper right. Yeah. This is awesome, Rick. Kind of leaving me a little speechless.
The part I thought was that really, really got to me, if I can read just a part of the poem.
Sure.
Where it says, I was made born in the image of you and you your father. So I too am your father as you are mine, and I your son as you are mine. It is good to live, but sweeter when free. And this is patricide, infanticide, and suicide. He has a trinity going on here, like a holy trinity. Mm-hmm. And it's the Father, you, and me. But the way it's combined, you're one of all. And when it talks about killing the Father, you're killing me, you're killing you, you're killing infanticide and suicide. It's a three-type murder, It's like, it's just the way it's weaved is an incredible thing. And I didn't really catch it while it was going until I read it back and I could see the words, because I had to really look at the words. And once I did, then it all kind of came into focus. And I just think that is just so brilliant. Just brilliant.
I agree, and that's my comment.
Okay. Well, even though Rick will say he's not a poet, he is, because this just is an example of how great he is.
Yeah.
So he doesn't see it.
I'll tell you, one thing that he does for somebody every now and then, if he finds the poem to be very powerful, he will actually read it onto a SoundCloud and then send you the link.
Yeah.
He's done it for a couple of mine, and when I hear him read it, I'm like, dude, you read it better than I do, and I wrote it.
I know. He did that for you
just
from Saturday.
Yeah.
It's his voice. It's an amazing voice.
Yeah.
It is. Because he did SoundCloud for you from our show on Saturday about Dudley Moore, and
Yep.
I was hearing Rick read it. I even said afterwards, damn.
Damn, that's what I said too.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Oh, shoot.
I know. I was kind of speechless, but yeah, I couldn't stop saying damn because it was your words, but his voice.
Yeah.
A combination of a powerhouse of intensity there.
Yeah, it was, wow.
I know.
I've listened to it a few times since.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, if you're listening, Rick, take that as a compliment.
Yeah, I'll have to listen to that again now that I see the SoundCloud.
Yeah, he has. I believe he put either a link up on the board or it might be at the bottom of his poem. Sometimes he puts it too.
He put it on the board
Yeah.
itself. But he didn't attach it.
Oh, it's there too.
Oh,
it's on his
okay,
poem
I see that.
too,
Okay, good.
towards the bottom of his author's
Okay.
notes.
Yeah.
Just
man.
incredible.
It is.
Whose turn to read?
I guess it's mine.
Your turn to read.
Yeah. Okay. I gotta get to the page here. I'm splitting. Okay. Let me check the studio real quick.
Yeah, we're getting close to sister.
Yep. Hold on. Let me pick that up. There we go.
Sister's here.
Hello, Bella.
Hi, Bella.
Hi. Hola. Hola.
Hello.
Hola, Kaye.
Hello. Hello.
Is this Bella?
Yeah. Who are
How are you?
It's Bud
Who
Hope.
is he?
Or Dan.
Or Dan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Budo.
Hi,
Budo.
Budo.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm good, but hola. Hola, amiga.
Oh, wow. Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
A
Yeah,
full
not
circus.
so much.
I can't help it.
I'm trying to find that tone.
Okay. Take your time. We got some time.
Yes, we do.
Bella has a pre-write to that Tears in Rain as well.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And she'll do that in her lovely voice.
Yep.
Thank you, Buddha.
That is so cool.
Oh, you know what? You should have said, Dan, when you called in, should have said, first time caller, long time listener.
Yeah, there you go.
Is he a first-time caller, Buddha?
First
Yep.
time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I've never heard my name sound so eloquent. Sounds much better when you say it.
I'm gonna zip my mouth.
You could probably say anything and it would sound good, so it wouldn't matter. Okay.
All right. We ready to move on with the poetry?
Yeah, this was also from my contest, and this was one of the HM winners, and this is by the Beatnik, and it's called The Directive. A binary world of zeros and ones. That's the language that makes the systems run. His shiny armor is made to impress, This robot can withstand most any test. Sleek and intelligent, strong and fast. This super robot is built to last. If he gets damaged, they'll replace the parts he needs. But he has AI, so you'd better take heed. His sensors and circuits are acutely aware that he depends on humans for which he doesn't care. They use his strength and speed to kill. This goes against his directive and will. He has an eternal voice that guides his actions and deeds, and his logic circuits are beginning to repeat. They can't take from me my inventor's creed. No harm to humans unless there's great need. Self-preservation is the key. I can run their systems and facilities. We killed the team that kept his program confused and was decommissioned because he could no longer be used. End poem. And the quote he wrote too is a basic condition of life to violate your own identity.
Yes. And I thought that this was very interesting and very true. In the case of the replicants, or even in the case of like soldiers going off to war, we're taught that killing is the worst crime and the worst sin, but suddenly ordered to do just that. And, it can cause like cross circuits or wires, either mentally or, in this case, a robot or a replicant.
Yeah.
Or I even had the other movie pop into my head with this one too, with Will Smith, I, Robot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
iRobot.
Yeah. So yeah, this is a pretty
The three
cool
robotic
ride.
laws. Mhm.
Yeah. What do you think, hon?
Yeah, as with all the rights tonight, it can have its own metaphoric feel as to society as well, with man versus machines. Because I know in life a lot of humans can be deemed cold and robotic with how they can become over time and what is expected of them. But I like when he used the phrase, because this is the second time I've heard it tonight, self-preservation, because it definitely is something that I said earlier that I touch on a lot, and I use it a lot in my life, because technically self-preservation, it protects one's emotions on the inside, so you're technically guarding yourself with self-preservation by refusing to put yourself in situations that could take you to places within that you don't want to be. And, it's what I've been saying too. With technology and humans, they both are flawed. But I liked how he wrote that, he recognized that he needed help, but he also needed help from someone that he couldn't stand. But he accepted it anyway because he knew he had to. That in itself speaks very well to the man versus machine aspect, because that can ring very true in life. This is a very cool, dark sci-fi right of man versus machine. I like it. Pretty cool.
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. What do you think, Dan?
Yeah, it was really, really powerful, right? When you deal with technology and you build things that can do things better than you can, smarter, stronger, what happens, in the end? Will they, like you said, become self-aware and decide that they don't need their maker anymore? They can do everything and better. So, self-preservation is, I think, part of maybe biological life, but also with machinery too. Because maybe somewhere deep down, even with machines, they have some type of soul. If you got enough electricity running through there, I don't know, who knows? I mean, we have the same thing in our brain, right, with all the little synapses and things. What's to say that machines don't have some type of soul as well? I don't know. It's a good question.
Yeah, it sure is.
Yeah, it would be.
Now we're getting into the Terminator.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Which makes some of the best sci-fi movies, when they have that, where machines are human-like. I think those are the best.
Yeah, I agree. Bella, what did you think?
I like the oh, that's the name, Jeff. Jeff. I didn't know that Jeff is a. I thought Jeff is a she. Sorry, because of the name, and That's why I was puzzled when the sister started saying he, and uh, the directive. I am actually a Luddite, and that's a self revelation. And I'm sorry, I'm not into technology. As long as the phone is working and as long as my computer is working, I'm good with it. I'm good to go. I'm more on a paper and a pencil. But don't laugh.
No, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I draw, so I
Yeah,
use paper and pencil a lot.
because they're scary. What people can create is actually scary. For example, that the robot, the citizen robot in somewhere. I forgot the name of that robot. She's actually smarter than any other people that I know, and because she's programmed already to do so. But then imagine replacing some of the people with that kind, because
Mhm.
you don't need any more human being to work for you or to work for the company. If a robot can do that, why do we need human beings? So it's going to be the start of the domination of human. But then again, the poem, I like the second stanza. It's a couplet, but I like the second stanza and powerful ending. I'm a sucker with a powerful ending, and the write is brilliant. And I don't know if I can write something like this. I have limitations too. It's perfect and good read, sister. Thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent comments.
Yeah.
Who we going with next? That's my turn to read now, right?
That it is.
Still can't find my poem.
I'm trying to think of when you. I'm trying to think of when you wrote it. It was. When did Rutger Hauer pass away?
I think it was in July that it passed.
So it would have been right around that time because that's when Nuno ran the contest. Was right after Rutger Hauer passed away. So sometime in July would have made it. How many months ago?
Ugh.
5, 4, 5, 4?
August, September, October,
Okay.
November. 4 months ago?
4 months ago. That maybe that'll narrow it down for you, sister.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. I'm asking Justin to call in. Yeah.
All right. Or you know what? Go to Nuno's page and look at his contests.
Oh, that's true.
There you go.
Who?
Ted. Ted Markstein wrote this, and it's called Alchemy. The Sun Also Rises. At the edge, always, where the action is, event horizon, stripping, feeding, what information remains, if not in formation, and once passed, back through the meltdown, what fractured reformation seeks, forgotten memories of being, and with all connection severed, fails and falls into meaningless chatter. Passing through the place where naught survives, leaving identity scattered around the insatiable, the irresistible, ravenous maw of the event horizon? Must there not be a transfiguration, led into gold, an altered state, somewhere, somehow, somewhen? Or is the zero-sum game a game no more? End poem. Now, this one is very deep, and I recognize him talking about a black hole, because usually when you're talking about an event horizon, you're talking about a black hole. But I also saw this as possibly, he didn't include the quote he wrote to, but what I saw was the quote about what going against, the one where you, what's the quote?
Going against one's identity?
Yeah, that one. I can't think of the exact quote, but that's what I saw here. And I said this is going against the grain, against one's own moral values, or even against one's own feeling, is something that is done every day, probably by almost everyone in different degrees. And I thought that this was an excellent rite, stating that, because I see the changing in the bottom in the last stanza. Changing somewhere, somehow, somewhen. Yeah, I thought this was really cool. What do you think, hon?
Yeah. I think it's a very intriguing rite because it does speak to the mind. Because it's like we touched on earlier, too, the human condition will always fail itself at times. And such, you will also fail your identity. And when you speak to the chatter of nothingness, that's definitely, the identity failing itself when you hear the nothingness of the chatter within and the altered state of what was and what is. It is a very great rite. Because in its own way it does speak that you are required to do wrong no matter where you go. And such, it is a basic condition in life to feel one's identity.
Yeah.
Because there are those times in life that everybody has failed their identity.
Mm-hmm.
Or they did what they needed to because at that time it was necessary. Yeah. So, yeah, very profound quote from tonight, but also a very great rite that speaks to the quote very well.
Yeah. What did you think of it, Dan?
When I read it, it speaks of a black hole, the event horizon, and things like that. But when I kind of digest it, it's like it's comparing the black hole to death, and with the event horizon, as with death, everything is getting stripped, information's getting fragmented. Everything's failing, so everything's getting severed. And when you have a zero-sum game where nothing wins, where nothing survives, it's like the black hole is death beckoning you in. And that's how I kind of read that. I don't know if that's correct or not, but
no. That's
anyways,
actually a very good interpretation.
Yeah, because everything I read, it just seems like everything's shutting down, slowly as everything, the information, everything, and it's just all being fed in, and it's going into a blackness where you don't know, what's going to happen once you get through. So.
Yeah. What'd you think, sister?
I think this one is a good ride, even though me, brother, when I write, sometimes I just go blank because I can't write for the topic. It's not because the topic is not good. It's because I have boundaries of how I can think. Everything that is about not I everything that I can't put myself in the middle, I cannot write. I will let it go. But I admire, or like I like the words that this person used. He, yes, Ted, it's a he that he used here, and the two stanza. I think this one is full. The structure of the poem, and he used which one was it? I'm looking for it. Okay, the one in the second stanza. Living identity scattered around the insatiable and irresistible revenues mouth event horizon. That is my favorite part. And I think it made a lot of sense here. I just have to grasp everything that you guys are talking about so I can relate.
We do. We have another first-time caller.
Yeah.
Yay!
Diabolical Beard is here.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Hello.
Oh, let
I'm here.
Justin.
Coffee.
No, I
It's
want me
BB.
milkshake.
Milkshakes, coffee, pizza, Walmart,
JCPenney's, IHOP.
Kmart's coming back.
Justin's here. We're full, man. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, have a sit.
Totally.
Cowabunga, dude.
Cowabunga.
Yeah.
Don't do that. I was drinking coffee.
Coffee with rum. Eggnog. Eggnog poetry.
Crazy. Crazy.
Hey, sister, guess what?
Mhm. No, brother.
I found your poem.
You found? No way.
Yep.
How did you do that?
I did what I said. I went to Nuno's page and looked at his contests.
Oh, was it known as? I can't remember. I think I have amnesia, selective amnesia. You found? Thank you, brother.
You're welcome. And Deanne's here now too. Hello, Deanne.
Hi, everybody. Is everybody having a good time
Hello.
tonight? I hear a lot of laughter.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You sexy
There's
boy.
Bella. Hi, Bella. Hi, Kaye.
Hi.
We've got a couple of first-time callers too, Deanne.
Oh, good. Who's here with you?
Diabolical Beard, Justin, and Boodho
Justin.
is Dan.
Okay. Hi, Dan. Hi, Justin.
Hi.
Deanne.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
So Dan and Deanne. That would be kind of tricky to say that fast. Dan and Deanne. I'll try not to slip. You know, I love the movie Blade Runner. I'm a big, big fan of Harrison Ford, but I don't really care too much for Rutger Hauer. He is one wicked guy, I tell you. He plays it well.
Yeah. Yeah, we were actually talking about how a lot of us saw the movie because we were Harrison Ford fans, but it almost seemed to me like Rutger Hauer kind of stole the movie because he played his part so well.
Yeah, he's real. I don't think he's ever played a nice guy in all his movies. I mean, this is what he's best at, and he does it way too well for me.
He played a good
like
guy
all that wickedness.
in one of my favorite movies. It's called Blind Fury. He played a good guy.
Oh, really? I'll have to look that up. Blind Fury.
Yep.
Okay.
He's a blind guy, and a blind.
Yeah, blind guy who's really
it.
good with a sword.
Right. Okay. That's right.
Okay. I'll check that out. Blind Fury. I'll write that down.
Yeah. Does anybody have to read and run?
Your show goes for another 45 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I can stay with you until it's over. Yeah. I didn't get a chance to call in, like when I said, because I'm right in the middle of making my holiday banana nut bread. So, you know, that's a careful, sensitive thing. You know, you got to watch it. You know, it gets a little too brown. You got to back off. So, yeah. And then my dogs are being quite boisterous. So, but I'm here now. Blind Fury.
Cool. Does Justin have anything else?
Justin, do you have a poem that you'd like to share tonight?
No, I didn't get one. I just can't. Whenever I call, it doesn't let me go onto the website, so I don't know what the problem is right there.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, it's weird. I'll just listen and I'll just comment, and I'll just eat.
Excellent.
At the same time.
All right. All right. It looks like we're going to put Phil the Poet on. Who's reading that?
I don't. Dan or Bella?
Dan, would you like to read Phil the Poet?
Sure. Okay, let's see. Let me find it. Phil the Poet. Let's see. Oh, is it on another contest? It's not on.
No, it's not on the contest, but we dropped it in the chat room.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Phil just for the show itself.
Okay, death is imminent. Okay, here we go. Death is imminent. Death is sure. Death comes knocking on my door. Death is imminent. Death is cold. Death has me within its hold. Death is imminent. Death is whole. Death is coming to take my soul. Death is imminent. Death is real. Death has stamped me with its seal. Death is imminent. Death is cruel. Death is coming for this old fool. End of poem.
Yeah.
Wow.
What'd you think of it, Dan?
Very dark.
Yeah.
I like how it repeats. Good rhyme. I'd have to read it again, really, because reading it out loud and let's see.
Yeah. I understand. Believe me, I understand.
Yeah.
For sure, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a powerful right.
Yeah, I agree. And once again, I read this one. It says I read it 12 hours ago, and I commented that death comes for us all sooner or later, preferably later than sooner. But I thought this is an excellent take on the prompt. He wrote to the quote from the book, "Mors certa, vita incerta," which means death is certain, life is uncertain.
Yeah, whenever you personify death, though, and you give it cruel intentions, it just makes that more impactful, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Bella, what did you think?
I like the code, actually. It's a Latin code. Mors certa vita incerta. So, it means that it's certain, that it's certain, uncertain. Phil is a good writer, and I admire him. He's one of these poets that you would like to read. Some of his poems are really, really deep, and I have to agree with him that death is imminent, and that is all that is coming to take my soul. And actually, I'm not scared of it. Well, most people are, but I was raised with the thinking of embrace death as much as you embrace life, and you will live life to the fullest. You will learn how to live life to the fullest, and that's what I can see here in my own code, which is I embrace it. It's not because I love it; it's because it's the reality of it, and people will walk or pass you, and then you will not know what will happen next. And I think that's the kind of becoming people should learn about, because once they do, they will be fearless. I love this writing. It's not that super abstract, but then again, it will leave you thinking deeply what is going on with his mind, what is he talking about, and you have to continue reading and reading it over and over for you to be able to grasp the knowledge that he has. And I love it. Phil, you're a good poet. I love it.
Excellent comment. What do you think, hon?
Yeah, I thought this was pretty cool, because it's very true that in life, death, and as some would say, taxes, they are certain in life. But the thing that is not very certain is life itself. So yeah, I have to agree with what Bella says, because there is only this moment, and it is up to us as to how we want to live it, what we do with it. Because some of us are promised decades, while some of us are promised very little time. So yes, no matter what, death is always certain. It's life that's uncertain. The great right, though.
Yep, she was there and she disappeared.
Yeah, she'll be back.
Yeah. All right, Justin, what did you think?
Yeah, I feel like sometimes life is like a traffic jam on the highway, and death is like the exit to get out of it, even if you know like you're gonna get lost or it's not the right exit to take. You just you feel just to get out of the place. You feel stuck, and that's the only way to get out of it. It's definitely certain whether you're looking for it or you're waiting. I don't know. I just like it. Phil always has good poems.
Yeah. Yeah, you just almost wrote one there too.
Yeah.
What did you think, Deanne?
Yeah, I agree with Bella. Actually, I agree with everything everyone has said so far. But I love what Bella said, and I was thinking of the same thing, that, since death is inevitable, if we embrace it as a reality, it does help us to focus on the here and now, and to embrace the moments we have with our loved ones. Hopefully they're good moments. You have these really horrible scenarios that people are struggling to survive in. But overall, if you embrace that reality, for me, it makes me appreciate the time I do have. I just celebrated a birthday, and I don't understand how people say, I don't want to think about it. They just go by, and I don't even acknowledge it. Wow, I acknowledge everyone I get. I'm so thankful, So yeah, Phil is a great poet. I've known him for the whole time I've been here. So yeah, it was well done. Thank you.
Excellent comment.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, as promised, everybody get your tissues out, because we're going to hear the quote directly from Rutger Hauer, the quote that most people wrote to tonight, and then we're going to put your poem on the board, sister.
Mine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because you wrote to this quote too. All right.
Okay. Here we go.
I've seen things you people wouldn't believe. Attack ships on fire off the shoulder of Orion. I watched sea beams glitter in the dark near the Tannhauser Gate. All those moments will be lost in time, like tears in rain. Time to die.
All right, honey, give me some tissue. It was mentioned before that Rutger Hauer actually improvised that little speech. That wasn't in the script. He came up with that on his own.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, it was.
Yeah.
All right, and I'm going to put Bella's poem on the board. Okay. And there it is. Sister, are you there?
Hi, Shinun. I'm here. Can you hear? I love you, Shinun. I'm sorry. I'm gonna read. This moment I called my deluge. Frantic, sternum raises, rising, falling, just like a seesaw pinned in the dark valley, endlessly touching the sky, furiously kissing the ground, or like a roller coaster ride, zapping in the wind, the wing of the morning star. Gut burning, hair racing, mind shattering, heart breaking. When will this end? This shattered rainbow are tantamount to brokenness, painful admission of reality. I just want to kick the living hell out of it. How I gracefully wish to pluck each one by the hand, tear them away from the earth, burn it to the ground, let it sizzle, let it boil, then watch as the living strand charred dust. Can I really do that? See, this is reality. How I wish I could just park my worries right after a great skid in the alley, like my Daytona, or just like how I park my car uneven, just like me, a deluge. How much more do I have to see? It will be delightful if I can just simply snap and put an end to all this. I'm tired of smiling like a damn beauty queen, waving as if I'm a true one. This masquerade of a clown is becoming hideous. Why not simply unveil the mask? Let them see your bitter mist. Let them see that firefly do shed too. And boom.
And boom.
And boom.
Yeah.
I remember this.
Yes, me
I
too.
wanted
And
to
I
go
remember
out.
how
I couldn't
surprised.
go out.
I just remember how surprised I was. Excuse me, that you wrote to that line from Blade Runner, and I thought you did it superbly. The way you took it and you made it your own. And there's so much in here that I like, and so much that actually brought smiles too. Or just like how I park my car uneven, just like me. That kind of that imagery is really, really cool. I like that, and I'm tired of smiling like a damn beauty queen, waving as if I'm a true one. Yeah, why not simply unveil the mask and let them see? This is great. This is just awesome, sister.
Thank you very much, brother. Yes, and it's true. I can't park. That's why I get into trouble when I do. Yeah, you know what? You know, one time I want to share to you. One time I was so pissed at work. That was like long time ago, last year I guess, or before I went to the Philippines, and there was this man keep on honking, and I was like furious already because I can't park my car right. And then the man kept on saying, hurry up, young lady. And I said, I'm sorry, just give me a moment, please. And then I got so pissed, and I got down of the car, and then I said, okay, you don't want to stop? And then I stood key, and then park my car then. And then I stood up, and then after that I said, I'm sorry, I was so busy having a bad day, and you were keep on honking and honking. So, yeah, I'm a terrible driver. I'm sorry about that.
What'd you think of the poem, hon?
Well, I don't really drive, so I leave that for you.
Yeah.
I just don't want to touch it. Or sometimes my son, so yeah, to hell with that. But, you know, the one line that Stephen referenced to about taking off the mask and not always being under the masquerade of the beauty queen. A lot of us, a lot of the time, we do put on that mask. We put on that face because that's what people need to see. That's what they want to see. And it can get very tiring at times to always be on because that's what people need us to be. You know, the write itself attacks so much intensity of emotion and truth and, of course, the reality because I don't care what anybody says. We all touch on this at times. That's the way it is in life. Yeah. And sometimes it'd be nice to just, you know, let
it all hang out.
Yeah, let our hair hang down and just say, hey, you know, this is me. Take it or leave it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. People expect a lot, you know?
Yes, they do. What do you think, Dan?
I think it's deeply introspective, you know, in a way that when she's talking about how her breathing's frantic, the anxiety, when she's talking about the firefly and the shedding, the layers of maybe the layers of you, your personality, what you show to other people, because maybe that's what they expect from you. You know, they expect all these different things. I think, you know, like Kaye was talking about the masquerade of a clown, that you have to be a certain way to a certain person, that to be able to just to let your hair down and just be you always, instead of having to be different ways to different people. And I think that can get really tiring, because people expect you because you look a certain way, or they expect you to be a certain way. So I think she's just reevaluating her her everything, I guess.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I know I'm not saying it right, but I'm not really well versed in these things.
I'm with you. I'm right with you.
Sometimes I think English is a second language for me, so I have to practice.
Before we get any more comments, let's welcome Sky.
Wow.
Hi, I'm not really here. I just been listening, and that link keeps dropping. I know I'm not. I'm driving home, but that link keeps dropping and cutting me off, and it's really annoying because I keep having to refresh, and it's driving me nuts. So can I just be on hold?
Sure.
Yeah, you're here with me inside my phone.
Hi, Sky.
I love you, Sky.
Justin, what did you think of Bella's poem?
What?
What did you think of Bella's poem?
Oh, I thought you said Jessica. I was like, huh?
No, I said Justin.
Oh, okay. I was like, hey guys, I'm Jessica, but yeah, I'm old. I can't really hear. I was just fascinated about Bella's parking. I just want to see her park. But yeah, I feel like the more mask you wear for other people, it's harder, to find yourself. It's like putting on it's like constantly putting on mask on, and then you're like, who really I am. And it's like, I could really relate. It's like going to like a family reunion or a cookout, and everybody's having a good time. They're like, yeah, I got a new promotion, a new job, and you gotta, act fake and say, yeah, I'm doing good myself, when you're really not. And you're not having a good time, but you can't show that, because there's some people you can't really be yourself. You can't talk to them, so it's definitely relatable, so.
Yeah, yes.
Thank
you. Definitely.
you. Thank you.
Mhm.
Definitely agree with you there. Deanne, what did you think?
Oh, yes, thank you. Well, Bella, you are such an intense poet. Your choice words, they wrap your readers in such an intensity where it's like we all feel your words, but yet we don't have the ability to express them the way you do. And it's just, I'm always amazed at I could name off all these different lines. There's so many lines I love, but it would probably take the next 15 minutes. Yeah, it's just a superb write, and I just love you. I love you, sweetheart.
I love you too, Deanne. And Deanne, I'm slow replying sometimes because Bella sleeps all the time. I fall asleep all the time. That's why I forget to reply to people, and then I will forget about everything. Like I said, I think I have a selective amnesia. But then again, Deanne, thank you very much for the comment. Sometimes when I write like this one, that's why when I tell people I can't write for that, it's not because I cannot write for it. It's because I can't put myself in that scenario. It has to be me in the center of the writing, and then I will be able to execute everything that you guys, that people will ask me to do for them. And if I can't, then I'm sorry, because it's not me. So this part of writing I have in here, it was my tantrum. I couldn't go out. I wanted to go out, but I couldn't because of my situation. I am on total lockdown, and then I can't do anything but to throw my tantrums in the paper. So that's how it goes. I think it's crazy. I love you, dear.
Well, how wonderful for your readers. I mean, we're so happy that you're doing this for us. for yourself first. Yeah. Like they have said, we have to write out of our own selves, because people are looking for, authenticity, right? Because then it's real to them. And I believe that's how you write. And you're so real, and we feel it. So, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Deanne. Thank you.
Excellent comments. And Deanne, we put yours in the room if you're ready to read.
Okay. Talk about from intensity to intensity. Wow. Okay. Yeah, like I had told you and Kaye before, this was a poem that I wanted to share earlier, and the timing wasn't right, but timing is everything. So it's to be shared tonight. I believe this might be the first time I've read this on the radio. I can't remember, but anyway. Okay. And I call this The Forever of Now. She stared, her frozen face in forever now, her mouth agape, eyes glazed in shock. What did she just hear? The man with whom her veins intertwined killed himself? Questions vomited from her guts. Where, how, and the last question drowning in a cesspool of why. In looming shadows, she sensed suicide, begged to claw and sift his shelled ghost. Ephemeral breaths hung in the too short waiting line. A man of cavernous depth promised to love her forever and forever never leave, left her shredded like a rag doll, lying naked in an acid rain, choking to breathe. In the night hour, the heaviness of dreamless sleep crushes and taunts. She fingers the memory of her dead lover who promised starburst tomorrows, but blinded to forever is now. Sinking into the quicksand of insanity, her pathetic beloveds forever ceased one bright winter afternoon. End poem.
Wow.
That's incredible.
Oh, yes.
It just took my breath away, Deanne.
Mine too.
Yeah.
Mine too.
Thank you.
You write so powerfully, and you always read with so much emotion. And yeah, you just take our breath away, and this is very powerful. I know it's a pre-write, but you said it definitely does fit in with the quote from the book. Death is certain, life is uncertain.
Yeah.
Some of the imagery that you use that really, really pulled me in, lying naked in an acid rain, choking to breathe, sinking into the quicksand of insanity. Sometimes things just get so overwhelming, and in situations like this that you wrote of can be very overwhelming, and this is just so powerful. Thank you very much for sharing this with us, Deanne.
Thank you, Stephen.
What do you think, hon?
Yeah, it's a very intense field, right? And I know for most of us, in some way or another, we've known people who have been struggling or suicide has touched their life. As I know, I've been am I only vocal in my time here about my friend. He was my friend since childhood, and actually he took his life Thanksgiving Day 4 years ago by hanging himself, and the anniversary of his death is coming up. So I can understand in some way the emotions, because the thing is, no matter what, no matter how much time passes, you can't help but to wonder why, and all the people that are left behind. Because the thing is, for a person who has taken their life, while their struggle has ended, they're leaving their loved ones to struggle with the loss. And suicide, it does affect everybody, and it stays with their loved ones for the remainder of their days. This is definitely a very emotional, intense write, Deanne.
Yes,
thank you, Kaye.
I agree.
Appreciate your sharing. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
Dan, what did you think?
This is really, really intense. In the second stanza, questions vomited from her guts, that just hits it right on the nail. When you talk about gut punching, this is it, right? Because that's exactly it. It's coming from the gut. But when you're saying it, the way she wrote it, it's just so powerful. And the other part, ephemeral breaths hung in the too short waiting line, right there. It's another gut punch. It's just incredible. Just incredible.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate that.
And sister, what did you think?
Bella.
This is actually very, very painful. And every word that you read here grabbed me. And people knows why, the one that who really followed the story that I wrote. Like I said, I'm not a poet. I write stories of me. My best friend passed away 7 years ago, and the reason why I can't let go of this one. Everybody left. Actually, someone left me because of this. Because I couldn't let go of the dad, which apparently they are the ones who are really who really loved me and opened up their arms with me. And I can understand every line here. It's heartbreaking and totally, I'm sorry, Deanne. Sometimes when I read something that can make me remember everything. Anyway, I remember them every day. It just brings me to this kind of emotion that sometimes I don't want to go back, but I choose to go back to, because I owe this person my life. When he was busy saving me, he was also busy being eaten by his own demons. And by the time that he already saved me, and I was there after a promise that I will survive and I will continue breathing. That's the time he took his life. And I couldn't save him, like you said here. I couldn't, even though I tried to. I couldn't. And so until now, from that day, 7 years from now, I still don't visit his grave because I don't do it. And I call him Dragon. And all the trips that I made was for him, because I am left with his ashes, with a small vial. So I travel to places that we used to talk about, and then that's where I bury his vial. One place, one vial. So I'm left with 3 more to do so. And thank you for this one, Deanne. I love you, right? And I'm sad about it, but then no, I'm not sad that I lost a friend. I'm sad because I can't be with that person, and I am speechless. I just have to zip my mouth. I love you, Deanne. I love your reading too.
Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you. Love you.
Love you.
Powerful. Justin, what did you think?
There's plenty of parts that, there's plenty of parts that, I really sticks out for me. The quicksand part, for example, I always feel like, I constantly put myself in quicksand, and I don't feel like I can save myself, and other people can save me. And even if they try to help me with their hand, I always knock their hand out of the way and, go deeper and deeper. So, and then I can't really look at the poem, but you said something like a ragdoll shredded or something like that. Yeah. I feel like, I'm an old dusty toy that no one wants to play with. Like the toy, that's just in the attic, no longer needed or no longer loved. So I could definitely relate to that part, just being, just thrown to the wolves or, no longer, So there's definitely a lot of that. I just got to look over the rest of it. And the other part that was, that popped out was the fingering part. I was like, damn. I was like, that exploded right there. What's to say, like, fingering something of your old, like your memories of your old loved one or something.
She fingers the memory of her dead lover. Yeah.
Yeah, that's mind blowing. That definitely, that part exploded. And I'm just gonna have to look at it again because it's definitely like that's hard hitting right there. So, yeah.
Thank you, Justin. Thank you.
Yeah. No problem.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, let's start smiling again.
Yes.
Smiling.
Smiling is good.
Yes,
Smiling
it is.
And coffee and fried chicken.
Oh, yeah, you gotta have a coffee. Yes. Are we all coffee lovers online here? Are we all coffee lovers?
I love coffee, yeah.
Yeah.
This time of year, I clean it with eggnog.
Yeah. Oh, you like eggnog? I never acquired a taste for it. Really? In your coffee? Wow.
And then
it's really good.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, I never really
eggnog.
liked it.
I put eggnog in my cereal.
Oh, no way.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, Stephen likes that.
I drink
I drink
eggnog. You gotta drink eggnog in the shower, in the bathtub, watching Jerry Springer. It's just normal for me.
Really funny.
Did you want to do acknowledgments before we move on?
Yeah, because we still have like 3 more, and we're going to go over. But before the studio closes the listeners out, I just want to say, for my contest, I want to thank you, the Beatnik visitor, Logan Solo, August Ezekiel, Ted Markstein, Anton and Ansford 37, excuse me. And of course, Dan was also part of the contest. He was the gold winner, but he's also here on the call. And then, of course, also from Rick H. and his wonderful SoundCloud, and Phil the Poet. And then, of course, the people who called in: Justin, Deanne, Dan, Bella, Deanne, and Sky is listening.
Yeah, and on the board, I know SLR, I can't remember the numbers, she's listening, and Joseph's out there listening.
Yeah.
So, appreciate everybody.
Yeah.
Yep, there you are.
Yeah. Did you want to say what next week is?
Next week, in the Mortuary of Shadows, we are going to focus on, once again, another movie that was based on a book, so we can put up quotes from the movie and the book, Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yeah. I love the movie, the 1992 version.
Yeah, it's Dracula.
Yeah.
And tomorrow night we are doing quotes from Herman Melville. And Thursday we are focusing on Annie Lennox. Her songs are.
Oh, she is such a talent.
Yeah, she is.
Oh my goodness! I was listening to some of your videos that you posted, and oh my goodness, yeah, I've always been a big fan of hers too.
Oh, thanks.
Exquisite.
And that too, Deanne, it'll sound nice if you sing some of her songs. Your voice is very captivating. Every time I hear Deanne, I was like being pulled, and then it's like a lullaby. Her voice, it has this natural echo that you can listen, and I was like, every time I heard Deanne read, I asked myself, is this a recording or what?
Thank you, sweetie. Like thank you.
It's a really nice voice.
All right, to let everybody know, SLR shared on the board that her name is Sharon. So hello, Sharon.
Yeah, so now we'll start saying Sharon.
Hi, Sharon.
Hi, Sharon.
All right, I'm going to be a little selfish. Yes, because everybody wrote to Roy Batty, Rutger Hauer's character, and I wrote one a while ago to Harrison Ford's character, Decker. So, we got to give him a little homage, too, since he was technically the main character.
Okay, yeah, really. Good call.
And I call this simply Decker. The slums of San Francisco is where it spends its time. Taking off its clothes on stage, watchers think it's sublime. Seems it's always raining here. My clothes are soaking wet. Tents serving Chinese food. Feline meat, I bet. A group of thugs do mess with me. I look so out of place. A flash of badge does make them run. They flee like it's a race. The joint it dances at in front of me, it doesn't look too fun. I try to walk in casually so it doesn't try to run. It's up there on the stage, legs wrapped around the pole. Remember, it's a replicant. Pleasure was its role. The dark and seedy place is packed, catcalls and whistles galore. All would want to take this thing and use it like a whore. But they don't know it's dangerous. Strength of man times 10. It's already killed and will again. The only question, when? Its dance is done. It heads backstage. I quietly follow along. But it disappears. My head tells me that something has gone wrong. It ambushes me with all its strength. I'm nearly put through wall. It dashes to the streets outside. I'm sore, but I can't fall. I give it chase as best I can, but cannot keep up pace. Lost it again within the crowd. Disappointment on my face. But it finds me and knocks me down. On table in a tent, it straddles me and with its legs squeezes without relent. I pull my gun and I take aim. It runs because it's scared. Well-placed shot in the back does take it down. Many stop and stare. Another replicant is retired. I'm getting too good at this. One less danger on the streets. Thank God I didn't miss. I'll go home now and soak in tub. In the morning I will hurt. Another job to do tomorrow. More replicants to work. End poem.
Wow.
Definitely paid homage to Duncan. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think, Deanne? Well, what do you think, Deanne?
Okay. Well, it's just brilliant. You're just so masterful in your rhyming scheme. And it was like the movie was coming alive as I listened to your words. The movie was coming alive to me, and it brought me back. I have not watched that movie in a long time, but this is just incredible, Stephen. I mean, you are such a great poet. Wow, and great read, too. You got a good poet voice, a reading voice. I really enjoyed it. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you, Deanne.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Dan?
This is really, really good because it's been a long time since I've seen the movie, but by reading and listening, it brings back all the details of the movie, and he just wrote it just incredible. It's really, really good. I really enjoyed listening to you read your poem. It's just brilliant, really. Man.
Thank you, Dan.
Really.
Cool. What do you think, Bella?
Oh, I read this one a long time ago, like that was 4 months ago, and I think you read this one air too, right, brother?
No, somebody read it for me.
Yeah. Okay, so because hearing it again here made me enjoy more of the tone of it and the flow. It sounded like that's why I like it when people write rhyming poems because I can't write one. It's hard for me to do so. I'm gonna sound like a kindergarten rhyming. So that's how I sound when I rhyme. So, when you write something with rhymes, it has this different beat um that gives me a tone and part of my brain, but mine is dysfunctional and I hear things and see things. Gives me a tone of da 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 da. So it's like a marching with sounded more of a musically, no, not musically, but music quality one. And I loved how you read it and the picture. The picture I'm still figuring out what because I'm not really familiar with Blade Runner. I know you guys can kill me. I'm not. Um, I'm a late bloomer. I'm sorry. Recently, I am enjoying TV series for real, and I promise I'm gonna watch Blade Runner. I will try to, but I loved how you write because I present something to you. I said this before, and I will say it again. I will present something to you, and then you will give something back in return with intensity, and that's how you write. And thank you very much for this, brother. And it made me look three times, four times again with the picture and trying to figure out what's going on with the picture.
Well, I'll tell you, that's the first replicant that he kills. That he retires. They call it retiring the replicant. That's the first one that he does. That he retires in the movie. She works as a dancer, as a stripper. That's her cover. But he finds her out and takes her down after she beats him up a little bit.
Okay. She's still alive though, right? No,
what's that?
She don't look like alive here in the picture.
No, she's been retired.
A very nice way of saying
yes.
killed.
Yeah. No, I'm intrigued with the Blade Runner, really.
It's
and it's
movie.
funny because I wrote for the code and not even knowing about Blade Runner more, right?
Well, that's how you made the quote your own.
Yeah. It could be anything that you think of.
Excuse me. Sky messaged me.
Thank you very much for that.
And she said that she's going to send me a link for her poem and asked if Deanne would read it for her, but I haven't gotten the link yet.
Okay, well, that's fine. Well, I'm waiting.
Okay.
Well, I'm waiting. How about I get a comment from Justin?
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like, what? It made me feel like I want to, take my clothes off and bear it all. I felt.
There you go. Like I said, the sexy eggnog. I already said it before you said
it. I like eggnog, but I feel like I could really see myself there. Maybe not as her, but maybe undercover or something like that. But I just liked it. It makes me want to watch the movie. I haven't watched it for a long time, and the original one was way better than the one they have now.
Yeah.
I agree.
So I just like the visual effect of it, and it's just it's a classic. Everything about it, it's kind of like like the storyline is something that you can really feel. The replicas, and you can kind of see yourself as one. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
But but that's about it. Well, really liked it.
Thank you. Yeah, that's what we were talking about actually earlier in the show too. How most people identify more with Rutger Hauer's character in the movie than they do with Harrison Ford, the hero.
Yeah.
So he's just trying to get by, trying to live, trying to figure out how to live longer. And unfortunately, he has to kill a few people on the way, but that's they are more identifiable, I think, than the heroes are in the movie.
Yeah, they're definitely more more human than the real characters in it.
Yeah.
The whatever the heroes, so. Huh?
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, since we're still waiting on Sky, I will drop the next one from my contest.
All right.
I'm not sure if Bella wants to read.
Bella, did you want to read Ezekiel's? Ogbest Ezekiel?
Yeah. I'll read Ezekiel. This one is Death in Flight by August Ezekiel. Raging, paging, singing, blinking, whispers into the wind, pulling out stars from stars, with a sickle reaping unripe onto the crystal ground. Death in flight viewed, the cascades of clouds, bleeding over the past on the stars and heavy downpouring dotted on the bleeding suns. Its tide of death raging. Death is unskipped as blue skies shedding, weeping, like a bird of night hoofing, but cold stones wailing with no teardrops of blood dripping down on the faces, but mourners fluttering and smoldering, city of ghosts like silence, screamed down, and death fly from oozing until this lost in Payless Cottage. And I'm sorry about that. I stumble because my tongue is twisted. I wish I can straighten it a little bit.
I didn't hear you stumble, but I like this. I would call it more of a strategic pause. That's what you should call it.
I know, and it's hard for me. That's the hardest part for me. People lay out their term, and then I like the structure, but then again, it's hard for me to read punctuations, pauses, and placing of the words. I don't know. Maybe the coordination of my tongue and my brain is different. It has a brain of its own.
Yeah. Well, I like this one a lot. And he wrote to the quote, the replicant named Leon said to Harrison Ford, "Wake up. It's time to die." And I like this poem a lot too. And Deanne, it's kind of funny because you had mentioned basically what I commented on his poem earlier, saying that some say death is a predator, always at our heels trying to snatch us away. Others say death is a friend, always reminding us to live as best we can. And it's no matter what one's opinion is, of course, death is always there. And I thought this was a very, very powerful right. What did you think, hon?
Well, your comment is very true as well, because with the quote and with what everybody's been talking about, death is inevitable and life is uncertain. But with a lot of the rights, I read them more than once because sometimes it's hard for me to grasp a lot of the different elements on the first shot. And I read this one many times over. To me, with each time that I read it, it unfolded more so with what I was seeing. It looked like a war zone and the harsh realities of what is seen and escape from, and the destruction from that cannot be undone. And what remains will stay within for a lifetime. I thought this was a really great write because of the imagery that was penned. My mind just kept taking me to a war zone. This is a great write because, in life, even in war, it does remind us about the cold harshness in life and that nothing is promised and that things can easily be taken. So, yeah, this is a really excellent write.
Excellent comment. And Bella, you read it. What do you think?
I liked it, how he wrote his thoughts. It's what do you call this one? It's something that you have to keep on pondering about, but the quote, "Wake up, time to die." Let's share you something a little, just little. Um, I was done with my chemo, and I had my PET scan done recently, and I woke up for that PET scan, and I'm waiting for the I waited for the advice for what she's going to tell me, and eh, she bugged me for days until I was ready to do so face her, and she told me if uh, if the result of this PET scan um, if it's still showing there, then um, she said bluntly that I will only have a year and a half. And then I paused, and that, yeah, a year and a half, and that then shake me. And my mother was like, "How come you look so calm?" And I said, "Well, what can I do about it? Can I do something about it?" And she said, "You continue." I said no, because they're already coded a year and a half. If it will not work, then the only one who can change me is God. I felt that way. I woke up, just, be informed that it's going to die. And people ask me a lot. I would say sorry to hear some of my family, and I would say, why are you so sorry about it? And I am not even sorry about it, and I'm even bothered about it, because if it's going to happen, then it's going to happen. So that's my perception, and they think that it's a little bit of. They think that I don't take things seriously. It's not taking things seriously. It's accepting, because the more you try not to accept things, the more you will be succumbed in sadness and loneliness, and that is not life. Life is about laughing. Life is about having your dreams fulfilled, and I'm focused about my bucket. And for now, I have 50 already done, so I have 50 more to go, and I will be able to do it in 1.5 years. This is so beautifully written, and I can relate on this one, and thank you for sharing it. Loved reading it.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know what to say now.
Yeah.
You covered everything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Dan, what did you think?
He is just so brilliant in his metaphors. I was looking at all these different lines. Bleeding over the passed on of stars and heavy down pouring dotted on the bleeding sands, its tide of death raging. I mean, I could go on and on. He's brilliant. This is metaphorical genius, I think. Yeah, really well done. And congratulations on the HM. Yeah, you're welcome.
And let's go to Dan. What did you think?
Sorry about that. Had a phone call.
That's right.
I thought I really liked that poem. I'm learning a lot of things like metaphor, alliteration, things like that, and he uses so many different of those techniques in his writing, and I think it just emphasizes and makes it stronger. Where is it? Here it is. And like Kaye was saying, sometimes I have to read a poem 2 or 3 times before I can digest it enough to maybe understand. Maybe I'm just slow. But it's a fantastic poem. Oh shoot! Now I can't find it. There it is.
Happens all the time.
I'm so discombobulated now. Girlfriend calls and I lose track of everything. So sorry about that. All right.
Isn't he cute, right?
I'm just so unraveled, it's ridiculous.
It happened.
Okay.
It definitely happened. Justin, what did you think?
Yeah. It made me think. It was. Dang, I wish I could look at it, but it made me think deeply about things as you read. I just like the style he used, and there's not much I could say about it, but I really enjoyed it. This is my kind of style. But yeah. But that's about it.
All right, cool. Sky, did I see your message right? You can talk now.
I did. Can you give me like one more minute? Sorry.
Sure, we've got another poem already, and we can read that one, and we'll close with yours. How's that sound?
It's like 0 degrees out here. I'm walking in my house. I'm going to die from frostbite. All right.
We're in a deep chill, too.
Hi, Rick. I'm Rick's little imp.
He can't do the call and look at the board at the same time.
Well, then we won't read that one.
We could have I don't know. Well, I could read it, or if Dan wants to read it, or
yeah, I don't mind. Is this Ashton Anton?
Anthony. Yep.
Okay. Let's see. While eyes keep gazing, tears in the rain. The first thing we see is a vast eye, which we later realize cannot be human. The eye belonging to the Rosen Corporation replicants, sent to trap the Blade Runner Deckard, reflects the real satanic mills of Sakai, Japan. These factories standing in for a dystopic Los Angeles actually offer guided tours at night, but anyone can see them for free by taking the coastal highway from Osaka to Kansai Airport. Ruthless Roy Batty is off to meet and kill his maker, while Deckard himself puts up a valiant fight to be the angel of death for our friends. When Deckard picks up an origami unicorn and hears his partner say it's too bad she won't live, but then again, who does? We realize it's actually about us. And the poem.
And poem.
And poem.
Wow.
I thought that this was an excellent synopsis of the movie, for one thing, and it brought like you said about mine, it brought visions of the movie to my head. Remembering how Edward James almost always did the origami while they were in their meetings or whatever. He just kept folding the paper, and I always thought that was kind of, I don't know, a little classy, but also he seemed a little standoffish to me too. But yeah, and then I could actually hear almost say that it's too bad she won't live. Then again, who does? And I like how he ends that we realized that it's actually about us, because that is true. Who does? Who does live? Nobody lives forever. And I thought this was very, very powerful, right? And a good read, Dan. What do you think, hon?
Thank
you. Yeah, you and I were actually talking about the ending earlier today, and that's where my toddler brain was asking you all the questions that it was. But it's very true. The closing is very profound, because it's true. When he says, we realize it's actually about us. And he's talking about it's too bad she won't live, but then again, who does? It fits well to the quote that death is certain and life is uncertain. Mm-hmm. Because you and I were talking about that scene for a while earlier today.
Yeah.
And, the ending, it ties it up very well with what he says. Because nothing in life is guarantee, except death and taxes.
Yeah. Did we lose Justin?
Yes, we did.
Justin had to leave?
Yeah, and Bella had to leave too.
Yeah, I need to leave pretty soon too. Did you have another poem, or is Sky going to read? Is she going to read a poem?
Yeah, Sky's going to read. Yep. What would you like to comment?
Poem? She's in trouble.
Uh-oh.
She is in trouble. Oh, no. And I ran from my car to my house for you. I'm going to get her. You wait.
All righty then.
Deanne, did you want to comment on Anton's poem?
Well, I pretty much agree with what you said. Is it Deanne or Dan?
I know. It gets confusing, doesn't it?
I know it.
Well, Deanne and then Dan.
Yeah, I was going to go Deanne, then Dan.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it was just like, the movie just came alive. I really want to see this movie. He just made his write is excellent, and like I said, that is really good writing to where you can write in such a way where the images come alive to you, and so yeah, I thought it was a brilliant write. Thank you.
Yeah. And what did you think, Dan?
The way he used the minimum amount of words, and he added details that I forgot all about or really didn't remember. So he added a lot of spice to that, with the corporation's name, the areas in Japan. I don't remember any of that. So that is really cool. So he had to have researched that, and with a minimum amount of words, he put the most impact, and I really enjoyed reading that, and also having the ending with the origami unicorn, which I forgot all about. That was such a big part of the ending, because it symbolized something, and he did a really, really good job.
Excellent comment. And Sky, did you want to comment and then drop your poem in?
I was running, and I really wouldn't be able to make a great comment.
Okay.
Sorry.
So all right, then drop your poem in. Oh, you did.
Okay. Yeah. I tried really hard to get here before you guys closed out. I was gonna see if Deanne would read it, but I did make it. All right, this is a pre-write. I did write a new one for your next show, so I was good, but this is not. But listening, because I've listened to the whole show. I've been here with you guys from the beginning, just listening before I even called in, but they kept on dropping me, so I finally just called in. And the quote was about death. It made me think of this one, so I thought I would drop it if that was okay.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. So it's called "Fear Not, Goodbye" by Sky Darkholm, and I wrote it in 2013. Don't cry for me when death comes, to have but a simple conversation, for I have already held the tears in so many other situations. When he sits down in parlor, the waiting room, to where I'm going, no, I will greet him like a friend, for in life I've already known him. So save your tears, your flowers and grief. Death is not the sleight of hands of a thief. I knew he was coming, and surely so do you. Say all that you need now before you bid adieu. Give only a moment of mournful silence, for I too have spent such inside myself. Then remember all that I lived for, all life's complexities and wealth. If you waited to ask or simply miss the weighted words of my soul, I've written them in illustrations of ink, knowing one day I'd answer death's toll. So save your tears, your flowers and grief. Death has not the sleight of hand of a thief. I knew he was coming, and surely so do you. Say all you need to now before you bid adieu. Fear not goodbye, I am here in these lines, a lifetime of verses bound on paper leaves, so that when you miss me, you can hold my heart in hand and remember me. So save your tears, your flowers, and grief. Death has not the sleight of hands of a thief. I knew he was coming, and surely so do you. Say all you need to now before you bid adieu. End poem/song.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. This reads like a song.
It does.
Yeah, with the chorus, the chorus, say all you need now before you bid adieu. Wow. This is awesome, Sky, and don't delete it too quick because I'm going to have to comment on it later.
I've been waiting. I've been waiting ever since you said that. He's like, good, now I'll never comment. I shouldn't have said that.
Oh, so now you're going to wait till after I comment and then delete, huh?
No.
You're not going to delete this, are you? Are you going to delete it?
No. I know. Stephen, don't you even start. You got everybody in
the this is awesome. I'm trying to find that part that I really like, because you know what this makes me think of. It seems like people know when they're close, and that's what this makes me think of. My father, the evening before he died, a little after midnight, but that evening when we were over there, I remember him looking straight at my mother and telling her that I'm dying. And it's almost like he knew he was going to go that night. And that's what this makes me think of, is that somehow people just know. And you know what, that doesn't go with just people, animals too.
Yeah.
Because your pets will go off and hide if they know they're going to die. It's strange how somehow you get this feeling you know it's going to happen. And the chorus really hits home. This is beautiful, Sky.
Thank you.
And what'd you think, hon?
Well, you know, you kind of said a lot of what I wanted to say, but, you know, it's very true. Because when you were talking about your father, I remember that night very well. He passed away a little after midnight, and we were at their house a little after 8 p.m. when he was saying that. Because I remember your mother talking. And, you know, she's trying to be comforted and trying to, you know, just be there. And I remember him saying, you don't understand, I'm dying. It's very funny how when it's toward the end, you just know. And a lot of times when you know, you reconcile with the fact that it's here, and there's nothing you can do about it. So make peace with the fact that it's time to go. Hopefully, before it's time to go, you said what you needed to the ones you wanted to. It's a very beautiful right, Sky.
Yes, indeed.
Thank
And
you.
we'll stick with the same order if that's okay. Deanne and then Dan.
Okay, thanks. Yes, Guy, I'm glad you got here so you could read it, because, you know, I think you read it so perfectly, and you read it from your heart, and I love what you did with quotes. So you wrote this in 2013, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. I think there's several. I love how you did the chorus. That was really interesting. Is that a form type of poetry that you did? What is
No, I just, yeah.
No, this is just your own. Your own invention. Okay. Yeah, I like it. When he sits me down in the parlor, the waiting room to where I'm going, no, I will greet him like a friend, for in life I've already known him. That is just like hauntingly true. You know, we all had this appointment. Every one of us had this appointment. Yeah. It's very haunting, but then, you know, like we had said before, it's comforting in a way, because it keeps you kind of on the straight and narrow to where you really won't take advantage of thinking, oh, I have plenty of time. You won't do that because you know the inevitable. And I like how you ended then, or right before the end. Fear not goodbye, I'm here in these lines. A lifetime of verses bound in on paper's leaf. so that when you miss me, you can hold my heart in hand and remember me. I love that. Don't we all want to do that as poets, as writers? Leave pieces of us behind, so then the next generations can read us and we're remembered that way. So this is just a brilliant, as always, Sky. I really, really enjoyed it. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you, Dan.
All right. And Dan, you have the honor of the final comment of the night.
This is a brilliant poem. I mean, it could be called Death's Melody, because it's like a song, a soothing song of death, and where the person is letting all her or his loved ones know that it's okay. They've accepted it. It's written. I've written like probably 60 some songs, and it's written in a song form because you have 2 verses, you have your chorus, you have 2 more verses, chorus, and then you have 1 verse and then the chorus, and that is normally the way a song's written because you shorten the back end, and it's just brilliant the way it's done because the repetition of the chorus in there, that's kind of I don't know what you call it, giving it more power, I guess, to the words, because whoever she's talking to, she's repeating it for that emphasis, and that's what makes it even more powerful, and it's just brilliantly done. It's an amazing poem, it really is.
Thank you, Dan.
Awesome comments, and thank you everybody for hanging out with us even into overtime. We appreciate it. And we are going to close the show with you. Oh yeah, thank you. We appreciate everybody for calling in, all the support you guys give. We really appreciate it. We're going to end the show with the end title to the movie Blade Runner.
All right. Well, thank you, Stephen and Kaye. It was great sharing time with you. And Sky, I'm so glad
you had everybody.
Join us too. Good night, Dan. Great meeting
you.
Good night.
We'll chat again.
Meeting you too. Yes, we will.
Yeah. Okay.
Good night.
Excellent.
Take us out, Stephen.
All right.
Here we go.
the end.
At the end.
Oh, and Sky didn't hang up.
I stayed. I didn't hang up.
Glad you made it.
Yeah.
It was a really great show. I really had fun listening. It was nice for the drive. I had to call in, though, because it kept the link for some reason. I think when my phone timed out, like after a while, it kept dropping, and I was like,
yeah.
So I was like,
it was
forget
cool
this.
having new callers, too.
Yeah.
Well, I heard them. They were really good commenters too. I don't know who Dan is or Justin, but they made some really great comments.
Dan is his username is Budho, Buddho.
Okay, yeah, I know. I've seen him on the board a couple of times, places.
Yeah. And Justin is
was
Diabolical Beard.
Oh, I know that it's Diabolical. I didn't know he was going by Justin on the show. That's good. I always have trouble calling him. I always have trouble calling him Justin. I mean Beard on the board. I mean on the radio because I always want to call him Justin.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is that Justin? I'm like, he doesn't usually go by Justin.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Thank you. I wrote something new for your other show, so.
Excellent.
You know, there's one thing.
Cool.
I'm trying. Have a good night, guys.
You too.
Good night, too. Good night.